Hi there, this is Terry Singh. I'm representing Virtualization.com, a media firm that rebranded, relaunched itself a couple of weeks back. And we are interviewing today on the third day in Cannes. And I have Susannah Kirksey. She's the Vice President at ClearCube. And we're going to talk with Susannah about ClearCube and the desktop virtualization solution. So welcome, Susannah.
Thank you, Terry.
Susannah, why don't we start directly with what you do at ClearCube and what ClearCube does?
Great. I'm Vice President of Marketing at ClearCube. I am responsible for driving our go-to-market strategy, as well as product strategy and development. ClearCube is a leader in centralized desktop computing solutions and offers a complete end-to-end solution for virtual desktop management and deployment.
Great. So that's a really compact, great answer. We're going to get into a lot. I did speak to Amir, that's the Chief Technology Officer, correct me if I'm wrong.
Amir Hussain, that's correct.
Yes, in UK, and we had a lengthy discussion. We're just trying to break this discussion and try to see how we can have ClearCube in various environments, where high demanding environments, in virtualized environments, and where people want good presentation, powered up presentation, and not notice the difference that the box that they used to have has vanished. So what is that advantage that makes ClearCube better than, I don't know, the other, in fact, people like HP, they all have those things plugged in at the back. And as long as you're running an Internet Explorer, it's really cool, right? Well, I open up a Gmail. If it sees a little bandwidth, it says, OK, I'm going to do the HTML kind of thing. But then I have this application which my company wants to run, and it starts kind of slowing down.
Well, I think you want to focus on the performance of
Absolutely.
The user at the desktop.
Yeah.
And if there's been an inhibitor to centralized computing solutions and or desktop virtualization.
And even adoption of the whole VDI, where the world is trying to is going crazy.
It's going to be performance of the desktop. And I think that's one of the key differentiators of ClearCube is that they've spent the past decade of their experience focusing on the performance at the desktop. So you can think data center to the desktop, or you can think desktop back to the data center, right? And we do both. We have an integrated solution that provides advanced PC blade technology on the back end, on the front end, cutting edge thin client devices, and the secret sauce in the middle, which is Central, which is our VDI management software. It's a connection broker that enables all of this to work together.
Excellent. And that software is called Central, if I'm not wrong.
It is called Central. That's
okay.
Correct.
Can you go a little bit into detail? You don't have to go into the technicalities. We can. We're going to do. I don't know. Is ClearCube also at the booth?
Yes, they're at the show.
Great. So we have what we are doing is we're also doing. This is an executive kind of session, and the other session is a geek technology. All those administrators and implementers. We're going to do a session where our camera guy is going to take a tour and just going to see if you have a demo, see a demo, how things work. But this is interesting. I mean, so ClearCube is the market leader. I have spoken to several market leaders who have been in this area and suddenly started waking up. So this is like an awakening as well with virtualization. We have been doing desktop for 10 years, and hey, virtualization, this crazy beast comes along, and we have to adapt to this new kind of trend. So how does that happen? How do you adapt to it?
Well, actually, you could see it as an evolution of a trend, because centralized computing solutions have been around for some time, and you could look at actually virtualization as an evolution of that trend. So from mainframes to distributed computing architectures, and then back to a centralized architecture that provides the benefit of the security and availability and manageability that you could get with that type mainframe environment, but the flexibility of a PC. Yeah. And so, and VDI really offers that today. It's another way to do it. Now, when you're looking at solutions, you're going to want to look at comprehensive solutions. You're going to want to look at expertise in the market to be able to deploy these type solutions. You're going to want to look at flexibility, security. So you're going to want to look at an offering that provides you all those critical components to a solution.
That's excellent. So just quoting an example of a client, we have a customer, not had. He's happy to be with us. But this customer is implementing a massive VDI solution. He says, I don't care what you choose, it should work. And then we take a little inventory, and then we see a lot of applications out there. And our job is to make sure that the applications are running well, and to try to see with the vendor offerings that we have currently today. But they say no problem. You have a flat screen. All you need is the Ethernet, and it has got to work. It has got to work. It's scary for me to say sell and let's get started. So do you have any kind of offerings that say, if we're going to put, segregate a couple of applications that are demanding, that need performance. If they don't work, then yeah, it makes no sense to have that hybrid computing where we are actually heading from mainframe, where interfaces were different, where people were just getting time sharing kind of thing, with what IBM and all these guys did. Into the distributed computing, which is thanks to Microsoft, people got freedom, happiness, flexibility. And then the happiness gets taken off. But they say, no, you get the happiness, but you just don't have to worry about the box anymore. So how does ClearCube address this new hybrid computing world where people should be able to work without worrying about the box or complaining that I have to restart it with my fingers?
You're making a hugely valuable point, which is that these are hybrid environments, and you have different user types, different needs, and so you need a solution also that can accommodate all those different user types. Whether it be, and again, so you're looking at performance. So we look at the world in three types. Power users, which require a one-to-one connection. They need full CPU capability. You have knowledge workers where, again, you're doing office management tasks, internet browsing, but you still need computing power, but they're in burst mode. And then you have task workers that are using single application processing, transaction processing type capabilities, call centers, and the like. They're ideal for VDI right now. Now, again, as we move up in terms of our ability to deliver the performance, you can move into the knowledge and the power worker types, and we'll get there. And it's going to also play out on the thin client, which is very exciting.
Absolutely. Because I think what the point is, when we see, and then I look at it from a more broader perspective of globalization, call centers going into countries like India, and then people just work, they call and all that. And then we're looking at societies where we have to get some good, smart people to do smart things, because if I don't have smart people, I don't have business. And how do I do it at lower or effective cost and make sure that the interfaces that we have today can help him or her do a great job to help my company grow. So the knowledge workers, like you mentioned, is very, very interesting, and I have been evangelizing it myself, that don't expect to have a great data center and boring people. Because the smart people will need to be able to do smart things. The flexibility that they got from the distributed world is not going to be taken away. So I think that's very, very crucial. So for example, if you have a simple application like AutoCAD, would I be able to use it from that hybrid kind of model, computing as a power user? And what kind of a product offering are we talking about when I want a power-heavy user kind of person?
We've just launched a product based on Teradici PC over IP technology, which is revolutionary, and then it completely breaks the distance barrier from the desktop to the data center and delivers full video performance to the user. And it provides both quad monitor and dual monitor capabilities. And so you would want to, for a power user using an intensive application like AutoCAD, you probably would want to deploy a one-to-one solution, for example, that gives them their full CPU capability.
So this quad core, how is it called?
So it's
how do I mean, I'm kind of doing it a little.
So there's the technology, and there's
like I'm a customer. Like what?
Absolutely, there's the technology, and then there's the product. So let me speak first. ClearCube has two products. It's called the i9420 and i9440, and they provide dual and quad monitor capabilities for very demanding environment like high-end trading floors and command and control centers, where they need, again, to be able to have multiple screens available to them. They also need...
And that's what you mean, the quad monitor. So that's like 4 screens.
Absolutely.
So then they can have 4 applications.
And if you look at a trading floor scenario, for example, they're watching different markets. They also can't afford any downtime.
You mean people who are working at stock exchange and when
absolutely, they go down for a minute and it's millions of dollars.
Very,
and so
very, very crucial.
Our customers deploy us because they can get the availability, the 99.9% uptime. They have the security and, of course, the manageability through our central management software, which provides the connection between the data center and the thin client at the desktop.
So that high-end kind of client that just does NYSE, do they have some kind of ClearCube? Are they interested? Because I'm sure they want to save because, okay, Thane has gone to another company, but there's got to be a new guy who's going to get a challenge like, you got to save. John is gone. You have to save. So how does that work? So do you have, are these mission-critical people where they really know that I have to have my staff on the second, on that millisecond to be watching? Are they also looking, because they have to save while they have to compete in this increasingly aggressively competitive world. So are you, what about, I mean,
we do quite a bit of business with financial services and trading floors in particular, and where their primary driver is producing revenue as well. And so they need that type capability. First of all, the footprint, reducing the footprint at the trader station is critical. The more traders they can get in a trading floor, the more money they can make.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, it's about floor space all the time.
It is about floor space, and they reduce the heat and the noise, etc.
And then they have kind of have smaller people.
And then they have the capability that they need. Not to mention the fact that for disaster recovery scenarios, for example,
I lose a session.
My data center, I'm in New York, and let's say my data center is in Chicago, or there's a disaster that happens somewhere. That trader could actually go home and be working from any kind of other computer environment. Same for federal government as well, which is critical. And you can also see these verticals are adopting VDI. And the reason, so I speak specifically to federal government, financial services, healthcare, and they're doing it for the exact same reasons that they've always deployed the ClearCube solution, which is, again, it gives them that flexibility, but it gives them the security and the manageability and availability they need to do that.
So you guys are clear leaders. Obviously, that's good.
We have over 500 customers in the market. We've been doing this for about 10 years, and I think that's where you'd want to look to ClearCube, because we have the expertise and the proven technology to be able to deploy these type of solutions. VDI adds a whole other layer of complexity to
it's
IT management.
I speak to analysts across the world, and I get to see their readings. And they are also selling the kVA, the kilovolt ampere kind of, the sellings where they say, you save 97%, but it's kind of, it changes, right? When you put in some kind of processing power on that user side, that 97% of savings in terms of energy kind of decreases. Don't you agree? You can't say that, you really are going to save so much of power. When you put in that processing power into that thin desktop, it might decrease. Is that a big problem?
I think it still optimizes the power consumption.
And on the data center, then there is less consumption. So it kind of, it depends on how you distribute it. So that is that distribution kind of a pipeline that you need that helps that hybrid model.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's excellent. What about competition? So you guys are leaders, but you have those newcomers and all that. You don't have to code names. You're free to code names, and we can take them one by one. But how's that? Does it affect you? Does it bother you? Because they are all rushing to the desktop market. 2008 is everybody saying is desktop. I expect it to be 2009, at least the deployments and the real work and the problems coming back from the user community. You have seen it all in the real physical world. What kind of competition do you expect? Like, for example, the VMware, they say VDM, and it should be great. Is it going to be great?
It's an exciting time, and it's a very exciting space, white hot. And it's interesting that it seems like there's a land grab for the desktop. So you look at virtualization, of course, has had its primary benefits in data center consolidation. Now it's moving to the desktop. And it's exciting to see Microsoft enter the space. It's exciting to see Citrix's offering, and of course, VMware is a leader in the space. We're a complementary offering to VDM 2.0. So Central VDI management software, which is our connection broker, provides a breadth of capabilities based on our lengthy and extensive experience in live production environments. So you've got connection brokering, you have virtual machine management, then client management, health asset inventory monitoring, you have load balancing, VM pooling, so a breadth of capabilities both on the systems management side, but also on the virtual machine and the connection brokering.
And the session mobility and all that, do you have that as well?
Yes, we're
like
yes.
I kind of, if my system pauses or kind of crashes, I mean, the user experiences some kind of, your system is paused in term, or I mean, on data centers, making sure that it is taken somewhere else. If this person goes home or to another location outside in a coffee shop and hooks up his laptop, then his session should, those kind of things. How, do you
Absolutely. Well, so you can do user-based mapping, you can do device or group-based mapping. So let's say I have a roaming user and you want to designate their profile to an optimized profile so that they can connect into whatever virtual machine is available to them at the time, and they can do that. And then you've got the load balancing, obviously, and the VM pooling that allows you to determine what is the optimal resource for that person at the time.
Yeah.
And so, yes, you have all those capabilities.
Yeah, so you have that more like a prevention system before. It says before the crash, something is going to happen, so your system is going to be, or there's going to be snapshotting or whatever in the data center, and you might have to go to another location, and that kind of information, whatever that he gets out of that the system, he can use to log on to that paused, snapshotted kind of a scenario to quickly get back to business.
So the IT manager has the ability to do dynamic switching and sparing, right? So whether it's from a blade to another blade, or blade to VM, or VM back to a one-to-one type connection, and that's very critical as well.
Absolutely.
And that's a key differentiator of ClearCube solution, is that we manage both the physical and the virtual environments. And so again, you have a solution that gives you the ability both to provide that a traditional type solution and then move back and forth into a VDI environment.
Absolutely, because you need that, and I strongly believe, and I don't think we are going to be totally virtual ever. There has to be some kind of physicality somewhere, because the need of a particular person, since it's so broad, it is going to be just about as broad. I mean, everybody's going to have his own needs and demands, and we're going to be working on the raw and the typical physical world, which you need to keep addressing, and the virtual environment for the task where people. That's the first target, obviously.
Well, think about it. That most enterprise environments today are comprised of heterogeneity. They're complex, multiple technologies. So again, and as the market evolve and technologies and solutions evolve, you're going to have a lot of solutions you're going to want to evaluate. So we are both vendor and virtualization platform agnostic. We support VMware, Microsoft, Hyper-V, Zen. And so,
Citrix, I guess.
Yes. So we provide open APIs. So we play and we complement all these technologies. It depends on what the customer needs and wants. Absolutely. And how they can leverage their existing investments in technology.
Yeah, I mean, one would be having Citrix, and if he loves, because Citrix and Microsoft, no matter what we say, virtualization is a great tool, enabler, trend, whatever people want to call it, from whichever perspective. Applications. That's what people keep screaming, and that's where these guys have been working hard on. So I mean, they deserve the due credit. So they have to pick on virtualization, which is kind of Zen obviously has a longer history than Microsoft, but on application space, these guys are leaders.
They own, Microsoft owns the desktop.
Yeah, literally. I mean, task worker, I don't have Word, Excel kind of things. We all know how, we all work on these worlds. We're also, on our day jobs. Things are all in Excel. If you have an Excel sheet, you hold these macros and all those things. They have to work. So they know their thing. This is inside out. That's their bread and butter. And
so VMware is a real threat to that, and that's why you can look at VMware's major push towards the desktop.
Yeah.
And doing that before Microsoft has a solution.
But that is good. I think that what's going to happen is Microsoft is going to, it's important.
Some healthy competition.
Very healthy. But they are going to realize that, something, it's serious. Okay. Then they're going to come out, I'm sure, because they're opening up as well. We see there's sort of a totally different kind of Microsoft. You're going to see a very different Microsoft in the coming years, trust me. And I think Citrix as well. And hopefully VMware is going to go the same path where, kind of opening out and taking, collaborating, co-working,
I think
to find a way to that person who we are selling our solutions. That's the consumer. Right. That's why we are talking.
I think the risk there is vendor lockdown, because they're all going to go to own. They're going to try to.
They're going to go for that ownership. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And so again, I think that when customers are looking to deploy VDI solutions, they want to look carefully to ensure that they have the flexibility that's going to give them what they need going forward.
Yeah, that people just get that user experience or customer experience. I should not say user. That's in one of the research books, they said, stop using that word user. The customer, they need the application, they need that experience. The customer experience has to be the same, because it's all about the customer all the time.
Again, we're demanding, right? And we've gotten spoiled with PCs. And if you're not going to deliver that performance to me at the desktop, I'll reject it. Especially if I'm a task worker, I might not have a choice, but if I'm a knowledge worker,
they're I mean, they walk away, they go home.
And that's why Citrix and thin clients traditionally have had challenges, right? Because it'll run 80% of my applications, but 20% of my applications it won't. So then I have to deploy a traditional solution that allows that
person to be able to do his job in those deadlines that he has, whatever projects that he has. And if he's not able to, I mean, those are political issues. Companies have, like Microsoft and Citrix, have understood it, because they have felt the pain all these years. That has been good for them, and that's a good pain, because that has helped them understand how the real individual, the real customer needs, what they need. Virtualization is another kind of thin ice, if you call this place, and things start kind of you're slipping, and VMs going all over the place. What happens if it goes there? Show me how it works. Those kind of things. I think they might be able to provide answers from their application perspective, and having a solution which is more performance aware, kind of like ClearCube, which now the quad monitoring and those kind of things, quad monitor, dual monitor. That might really help a lot of customers to try to see that advantage from one vendor to the other. I think that's what I think. So, but we're definitely going to do a demo. I don't know. Do we have a demo down there at the booth?
Yes, you could see central VDI management software, and you can see how it connects to both blades and then clients, how it brokers all of the connections. Again, and to that point, we have a demonstration below that it shows you a connectivity with ClearCube hardware, but in September we announced Central as a standalone offering. So Central now is hardware agnostic as well.
Okay.
So for example, we do provide an end-to-end solution for VDI management and deployment. Having said that, if a customer has other back-end infrastructure, or they have certain thin client devices they want to deploy, they have third-party applications with which they need integration, Central can play in that environment.
Excellent.
And that's very nice.
That's great. So are we going to see more innovation out of ClearCube? That's the last question.
Absolutely. ClearCube has been innovating for the past 10 years. They
Yes,
were the pioneer in the space.
That's part of your strategy.
Absolutely. They introduced the first PC blade. They've been doing centralized computing solutions for the past 10 years. We have deployments at over 500 customer sites in the most demanding mission-critical environments. And so we know how to do this. And that's one of our key offerings to market, is our expertise in our technology and knowing how to deploy these solutions and ensure that our customers have a true PC experience, and then they get the security and the manageability and availability of a centralized computing solution that's it's hardened against any kind of vulnerabilities.
Excellent, excellent. Susannah Kirksey, Vice President of ClearCube. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise.
We're going to do the video tech / geek video, and we're gonna see what ClearCube does, and we're going to do that, present it for our user community. Thank you so much.
It was nice talking to you today. Thank you very much. Okay.